when you think about all the people that were ahead of you in the competition and how they ended up either blowing their account or ruining it, which just kept bumping you up the top.
Yeah.
What do you think that most traders are doing wrong?
Always close where it makes sense. Do not close where it makes sense for your wallet, but makes where it makes sense on the charts. On the lower time frame, like on the 30-minute, maybe a 15-minute onion or something like that. Entering in there, seeing the 4 hour flip, going break even, and then holding it for the 4 hour wick fill, something like that. I feel like being uncomfortable is one of the biggest things that makes you grow. You have to learn to be uncomfortable because when you're uncomfortable, you go out of your comfort zone, you start to develop new skills, new habits, new ideas that you never knew you could get. I
What do they
feel
say
like
to you? They go, bro, you're so lucky you found him now and you can go through all the bullshit, right? They all say that.
yeah. They've been like, wow, you're so like only 1 year of trading and you know so much, you know what I mean? And it's all thanks to Nick, you know what I mean? I didn't have to, first thing, like I didn't have to figure out that much stuff for myself because he was legit there holding my hand through all the trading. He just gave so good advice that, you know what I mean? I had to just stay there and keep on watching every day and come back. You know what I mean? It was so good. And yeah, I really feel
100%.
like I got a boost.
What's up, traders? Welcome back to the Day Trading Show. Today, I'm sitting down with Edward Whaley. Edward is the winner of the Top One Trader competition. Over 850 people were entered in the competition, and Edward came out on top. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about how he got into trading, how he found Top One, his tips for passing funding challenges. All that stuff is covered in this episode. You're going to love it. So make sure you stay all the way through. As always, make sure you're subscribed. And as always, thank you to our sponsors. All of those links are down in the description. And now, enjoy my conversation with Edward Whaley. Saves you a fuck ton of money, bro. This episode wouldn't be possible without Top One Trader. They have a brand new instant funding model that I think everyone needs to try. There's 5 different accounts you can choose from. You can hold trades over the weekend, and there's a 90-10 profit split. So use my link in the description, use the code ASFX to save on your next instant funded challenge. And as always, thank you to Top One for being a sponsor of the podcast. Now let's get into the episode. All right, what's up, traders? Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I'm sitting down with the winner of the Top One trading competition. It was in November, right, Edward? It was the November competition.
Yeah, November competition.
I am very honored to have Edward Whaley here. Edward is currently in Denmark. He is half Hawaiian, half, what do you say from Denmark? Danish?
Danish, yeah.
Cool. There we go. So it's good to have you on the show, buddy. You are a Forex trader that trades with Top One, correct? You trade Forex and CFDs.
Yeah, I trade gold with Top One, correct. Yeah.
And you know Nick Stewart, right? That's like your guy. You and Nick are
Yeah.
buddies.
That's my
Yeah.
like mentor from day one.
Very cool. All right, good. So, Edward, can you give everybody like a little intro into yourself before we get into some questions? We'll definitely talk about Top One. We'll definitely talk prop trading, of course. But tell everybody kind of how you got into trading, how you found Nick, and what leads us to you winning the competition. I think there was 800 traders entered into it. So it's pretty impressive that you stuck it out and got that thing done. So give us a little
Yeah,
bit of your
thank you.
background first before we get into it.
Yeah, so I mean, grew up here in Denmark, I went to school here and everything, but I decided to move to the US into Hawaii because my passion was to play American football, right?
Nice.
So moved there to play American football, did really well, became, team captain, made the news over there as well. Got offers to go to colleges and everything. So it was going very good for me and everything like that. And then graduated high school, was ready to go to college, but during my senior year of playing football, I got an injury, and I found out that that injury was not like an injury that was gonna heal or anything. So it was kind of a like career-ending injury that led me not going to college, but instead coming back to Denmark. And that's then where I was like, I don't really want to go to school and do the traditional get an education and then do a 9 to 5. So I was like, I got to figure out a way to make money a different way, like make money online, figure out some sort of way. So first I stumbled upon drop shipping, did that, ended up spending more money than I was making, so I kind of dropped it. And then trading came, and that's where I then found Nick. First I came there and I was like, "Ooh, I can just copy this guy, copy his trades, take whatever, and I would be profitable." But that's not the case. You know what I mean? You'll start taking his trades, and then sooner or later, you're gonna start trying to take your own, and you're gonna get FOMO, and you're just gonna blow the account. So that's how it went for a couple months. But I started watching him more and more, got very educated by him. He, taught me a lot through the streams, and he even let me onto some of his coaching stuff like the boot camp and stuff like that. So it was very nice. And that's where I then started learning from him, got his playbook, and even added some own strategies into the playbook and stuff like that.
I love that. Shout out to Nick. How come you didn't come to the meetup? He had a big meetup in Tampa a couple of weeks ago. Where were you at?
Man, that's so far away.
Dude, I was surprised, bro. He had people fly in from all over. Like I think there was someone there from Germany. So
Yeah.
he's got a big community, bro. Very loyal following. Did you find him
Mhm.
originally on YouTube? Is that through the streams originally?
Yeah, exactly. I searched up live trading and then he popped up there and I just stuck to that.
He crushes the streams, bro. Yeah, Nick
Yes,
actually
sir.
lives near me. So we play golf together like a couple of times every month. And Nick and I have done some work together in the past. He's a good dude. And he has a lot of guys that would accredit him to making them successful. What do you think about Nick's strategy and the way Nick teaches is why he's making traders profitable? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the strategy first and foremost is very simple. There's not like overcomplicated. He doesn't, do too much. It's very simple. And he doesn't have too many plays to where you will start to get confused about, is this my play or is this my play? He has a very simple and very easy to learn, which I like. And then on top of that, he also teaches, like life instead of just trading. He also teaches stuff off the charts, like how to be a better man, how to, carry yourself, stuff like that. So it really impacts your whole aspect of life, not only trading.
He's good at that. He's definitely a
Yeah,
motivational. He's very, very religious even now with his Bible study and everything like that.
yeah,
So Nick's got a lot going on, bro. I like Nick a lot. Yeah, he's and now are you in the clubhouse too?
yeah. So I got 1 month free of the clubhouse because I won the competition.
Oh, perfect. Beautiful. So now you get to see what they've got. He told me the clubhouse is popping. So what
Yeah,
with from Nick's strategy, what time of day are you trading gold and what time frame are you trading gold on?
yeah. Okay, so I trade London session and New York session. I prefer New York session because there's some more volume. I really love the 9:30 volume on New York session.
Of course.
And for time frames wise, I trade mostly 30-minute, 1 hour, 15 minute, but also the 4 hour, which is something that I've incorporated myself. So the 4 hour is something I would look at, for example, supports and resistance on the 4 hour. If the 4 hour, let's say, has been four consecutive bullish candles, so now we got a strong bearish 4 hour candle, it's gonna make me look for sales on the lower time frames to confirm that 4 hour now we close bearish to continue down. So I use the 4 hour a lot as confirmation to find entries on the lower time frame.
How many trades a week are you taking?
It varies, but not that many. I like to stay very conservative with my trades. I don't take trades every day. It's called day trading, but you gotta stay very, I mean, not every day you're gonna be taking trades. That's what I thought. When I started, I was like taking 10, 20 trades a day, man. It was crazy. But now I take like one trade, I would say max 4 to 3 trades a week, if anything. You know what I mean? Like I stay very conservative. Even this month, I've barely taken any trades.
So
So
are
yeah.
you tracking all these trades in some type of tracking software like a journal or TradeZella or something like that? Do you know your average hold time or anything like that you could share? Because I'm sure the audience wants to know the guy that wins the competition, what do his stats look like? So do you have any stats that you could share, your win rate, anything else like that?
Yeah, man. So I use Nick's journal. He just has like a Google Docs. It's very
Nice.
basic, very simple. So I just track all my trades there. My average trade time is anywhere between like 30 minutes to 5, 10 minutes. You know what I mean? It's not those long trades, but it's simple in and out. You know what I mean? Close some partials and stuff like that.
Nice. And do you
Yeah.
know, like on a win rate basis, how many you're losing versus how many you're winning? Is it 60%, 70%? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, so right now I'm around like a 70% win rate on this
And is it
strategy.
1 to 1, 2 to 1? What do you look for in risk reward?
Yeah, so actually what I do with risk reward is also what Nick teaches is like it depends on the edge on how much I would risk with capital wise and how big the risk to reward is. So if I have a trade, for example, that's really, really good, I'll put more risk on the table compared to if I have a trade that's like decent but not the best, I'll put less risk on the table. But the risk to reward usually it'll be a 1 to 1, 1 to 2, sometimes even a 1 to 0.5. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
always look left, look for supports, resistances to target there.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Do you find like you're trading better with news, without news? Do you find that you're trading, any specific day of the week better?
Yeah, so okay, news wise, I really never trade before news. So let's say we have a big news event coming up. I do not take any trades. Let's say New York session, we got NFP. I wait for
Hmm.
NFP to come out, let it do its thing, and then around 9, 9:30, that's when I wait for the setup because after news we have some volume that I can take advantage of. So news
Absolutely.
days, yeah, they go good, but just stay away from trading during news and before news because the markets can be very wild. So that's why I stay away
Absolutely.
from that and do it after.
It's good advice. Do you find like other than Nick, are you studying anyone else's stuff or are you doing your own back testing? Like what are you spending your time on? Because as soon as we got on the call, I loved what you said. I was like, how you doing? You're like, I'm working on myself. I'm doing stuff for me. So like, what are you doing to work on your trading business now? Like, how do you improve?
Yeah, so like I back test a lot, you know what I mean? That's how I got with my own strategy as well. I've been looking at these charts for a year now. I've been trading for a year. I looked at the charts every day. So I've really, started to incorporate some of my own things, but Nick has mainly been the one I've been following. I haven't really been following anybody else besides him. But just, looking at the charts, back testing, all of that is really, helpful to gain confidence when I take a trade because when you're not confident in a trade, you're going to start having FOMO. You're going to start closing it when you shouldn't be closing it and stuff like that. So confidence
Absolutely.
is key.
What do you think
Yeah.
what else can traders do in your opinion? Like if you were giving advice to yourself when you got started, what would you say helps build confidence? Think back to a year ago. What would you say to that guy? Do more of this. More back testing, more live
Yeah.
trading. What do you think you
So,
got to do?
I mean, first you got to do a lot of back testing, right? You got to educate yourself about the markets, everything like that. And then you also got to get in. Like, I mean, it's a different story when you're doing demo account to when you're doing real capital because there's real money on the line, which is going to make you feel real emotions. So get some money in. It doesn't have to be a lot, but just get some sort of money in so you get that feeling of being able to make and lose money when you trade. So do a lot of back testing, get confident in your strategy, journal is very important. Journal your trades because then you know if your strategy is working or not. And just stay disciplined to your trading strategy. Don't hop around to all kind of different ones.
Do you think that Nick made it so your learning curve is faster than it would have been without him because he kind of gave you strategy? Real quick, before we go any further with today's podcast, I want to thank our second sponsor, Edgeful. Edgeful is the only tool you need to reach your trading goals. This is the one-stop shop. If you're trading stocks, futures, or crypto, you can go into Edgeful and gather all the information you need to refine your edge. Whether it's the report on how often the gap fills or the report on how often we make a new high of day in Power Hour, all of those answers are given to you and updated daily in Edgeful. So use the link down below, check out Edgeful. This could be a tool that changes 2025 for you. So I'm being serious. This is definitely worth your time. And if you want to see us use it, come check out ASFX TV. But I got an Edgeful link in the description. Definitely go check that out. And of course, thank you to them for being a sponsor. Now let's get back to the video.
100%, 100%. I mean, I've been talking to people who was also in this community that have found him later on in their
Mm-hmm.
trading journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I
What do they
feel
say
like
to you? They go, bro, you're so lucky you found him now and you didn't go through all the bullshit, right? They all say that.
yeah. They've been like, wow, you're so like only 1 year of trading and you know so much, you know what I mean? And it's all thanks to Nick, you know what I mean? I didn't have to, first thing, like I didn't have to figure out that much stuff for myself because he was legit there holding my hand through all the trading. And then like he just gave so good advice that, you know what I mean? I had to just stay there and keep on watching every day and come back. You know what I mean? It was
Oh,
so good. And yeah, I really feel
100%.
like I got a boost from just watching those, live
Well, I
streams.
think it's you didn't have as many bad habits, maybe as some of the other people. So you can absorb Nick's information better
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
just sticks
exactly.
with you first. Yeah. So I
Hmm.
think that's the cool thing is like now I'm glad Nick is starting to charge more money for his services because his services are good, but he was putting
Hmm.
out such good information for free
Yep.
that for you to be able to pick that up off free YouTube live streams and then some one-on-one time with him and joining the clubhouse now for a month, like it's amazing to see what you've been able to do. Let's take a second, stop talking about Nick. He's going to be listening to this laughing. What do you think about Top One? Out of all the prop firms that you've traded with, is Top One the only one you've tried so far?
No, I've tried others. So the first ever prop firm I did was my Forex funds.
Nice.
So
Same.
I bought a 5K account. I think got frozen, and that was my first ever funded account I got. And then I was like, what the heck? But then I jumped to a different one. Didn't do too much research before buying an account, which was a rookie mistake.
Yep.
Bought a 100K account. Didn't know they had a trailing drawdown, which ultimately like it led me to blowing the account because I didn't know there was a trailing drawdown.
Yep.
So then after that, I then found Top One, and that's I did some research on them before buying an account. You know what I mean? So they
Not
didn't
going to
have
make the
trailing
same
drawdown.
mistake twice.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't have any trailing drawdown on the two-step
Nope.
challenges.
Yep.
They had a good, profit target and max daily limits and daily and limits. So I really liked that there was 10% limit, 5% daily drawdown, 8% target. I really liked the targets, and then I also liked how the support is very very responsive. Like they have the live chat. You go on their website, reach out to their chat, they respond immediately. Very
You know, I
nice.
I interviewed this guy last week and he told me he runs a prop firm. It's based in the Cayman Islands, and he told
Mhm.
me uh he polled I don't know a couple thousand traders. I can't remember exactly, and he asked them, "Do you want better customer service, cheaper trading fees, or more leverage?" Most of the traders said better customer service. Isn't that interesting?
Mhm.
So like that's how important customer service is, which is yeah, Top One gets a lot of credit for that. And they also have really fast payouts too. So the speed of the payouts
Yeah.
plus the customer service are two green lights. Yeah, the My Forex Funds thing kind of sucked for all of us, bro. I think that was the
Yeah.
firm other than like FTMO that everybody was making payouts from because that's where we all
Yeah.
were trading. So when they went under, it definitely hurt the industry. But like some firms survived, right? Think about all the prop firms that didn't survive. Like,
Oh
we
yeah.
won't say names,
Yeah.
but then Top One has been able to stick it out. And
Exactly.
I'm excited to see. You saw their new instant funding thing. Have you seen that account that
Yeah,
they
yeah, I've
have?
seen that. That's very interesting. Yeah.
You would do well with that, bro, because you know how to trade. So it's like you would
Yeah.
probably do well with that. You wouldn't even have to pass the challenge. The 20% consistency, though, what do you think of that? The consistency target.
Yeah, that's like for me, I don't like to have I haven't really looked into too much to the instant funding. So like what do you mean by the 20%
So a
consistency?
consistency rule, some of these prop firms that offer instant funding have a rule
Mhm.
where if you want to take, let's just say $1,000 payout, whatever the consistency percentage is, that means that one day's gains cannot be more than that percentage of your payout. So if you want to take $1,000 out, and let's say it's a 20% consistency rule, you can't make more than 20% of $1,000 or whatever that other number, the payout size would be in one single day. So it basically caps you on how much money you can make. You can't have any
Yeah,
outsized
yeah.
big days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What
I
do you think of
mean,
that?
it's kind of good because I mean, it's good and bad depending on your trading style
Mhm.
because it helps you not to go full on risk everything you have because it is an
Absolutely.
instant funded account. I know there's a trailing drawdown on that one, you know what I mean? So you got to be careful
I think
with,
it's 6%.
yeah, exactly.
Not
So,
bad. Not bad.
yeah, not bad, but you have less drawdown than you would have on a two-step account, which makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But you just got to be more, careful with your trades. You got to take trades that are very, very high probability and don't risk too much of your capital. Like that's
How
probably
many
what I would recommend.
That's good advice. How many
Yeah.
trades are in your playbook that Nick and you have worked on? Like, how many entry signals do you really look for? Is it the same setup every time? Is it a candle formation? Can you give us an idea of like what are your plays?
Yeah. So we have a couple plays. There's the onion, celery, and breakout. Those are like the pretty much the ones that I look for majority wise. So the breakout, you know what I mean? We consolidate a lot and we see a candle break out of the range, close above the range, and then to the left we have very clean range. That's usually a very good indicator for the candle to continue up or down, depending on which way we break out. And those I really like. And then also when I look at the 4 hour, for example, We have a 4 hour closing onion. I love onions on the 4 hour. They're so nice because let's say we get a 4 hour onion. I wait for the 4 hour top wick. Let's say it's a bearish onion, right? I wait for the 4 hour top wick to be formed, signifying that we don't have any bottom wick, so we're most likely going to come down to give it that bottom wick. Waiting for an entry on the lower time frame, like on the 30-minute, maybe a 15-minute onion or something like that. Entering in there, seeing the 4 hour flip, going break even, and then holding it for the 4 hour wick fill, something like that. Those entries right there are like some that I like a lot, especially with the 4 hour.
I think what's cool is you have the same way that I have, you have terminology for how you look at the chart. Onion, celery, whatever the fuck you want to call it, everybody. It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
matter. The
It
point
doesn't
to
matter.
take
Yeah.
from this is like you want specific setups, and then
Mhm.
you want characteristics to that setup, and you want to label those, and that way you can study it. So, do you find your win rate is higher with onion setups versus other setups? Like you said, you love the onion setups on the 4 hour. Is that a
Yeah.
higher win rate trade for you that you'll maybe even look to take with bigger size? Would that be in that boat?
Yeah. So it all comes down to higher time frame. So let's say on the daily, we closed bearish, we closed below a support, right? We closed bearish below support. Daily's coming up for a top wick. 4 hour has been going up, consistently, and we haven't gotten a pullback yet. I see a 4 hour now close strong bearish. Now, this is high confirmation for me that this is probably where the daily, the 4 hour, and everything is going to align to come down. So I like to look at the higher time frames. And if I see the higher time frame match with the lower time frame, that's usually when I see a very good opportunity.
Have
And
you ever
usually I
thought
get
about?
that.
I'm sorry, finish. Didn't mean to
Oh
cut you
yeah,
off.
I get that usually with the onion trades. You know what I mean? So
Have
onions
you?
is
I was going to say, have you seen this work on other assets?
I haven't really looked too much into
Okay.
other assets besides gold. I have been looking a little bit into crypto. For me, like I've looked into Bitcoin and some other cryptos. What I usually notice there is just support and resistance really works well in crypto from just my perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree with that, like structural market moves, especially like when I was trading a lot of Bitcoin in like
Yeah.
2017, 18, 19, and with my Forex funds and everything like that,
Yeah.
that it does move very structurally. Like you get classic pennant and bull flag patterns and they work really well. Support and
Yeah.
resistance seem to hold well there. I wonder why that is. But the prop firm world itself right now offers a lot of opportunity to guys like yourself that know how to trade. So have you thought about doing any more challenges with Top One? Have you thought about maybe doing a different firm, diversifying? Like what's next for you? I'm just trying to see like how do you really scale this now? Because you seem pretty confident in the entry signals that you're trading. So how do you make
Yeah.
some real money now next year? Hey traders, Futures 101 is available for free right now. There's a link in the description. Click down below, check that out, and now enjoy the rest of this video.
Yeah, so I really like the idea of the prop firm, giving more capital. So I do have prop firms, and my idea is to get a payout, get a decent big payout, maybe a 10K, 20K payout, and then putting that into a personal capital because I do like trading personal as well because
Yeah,
there's the more free rules, you can get payouts more
whenever you
often.
want. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I like that freedom of the capital. I do trade some personal on the side as well, which helps with trading a challenge, in my opinion, because it doesn't add that rush to trying to pass a challenge. It doesn't give you like, oh no, I haven't made any money. What am I gonna do? I'm making money from my personal while I'm building my challenge account to pass it. So it gives me that relief of not having to stress over, anything.
100%. Do you find now that trading is simpler for you because you don't trade a lot of assets, you have specific times a day that you trade? Like maybe the better way to ask that is like what areas of your trading do you feel weakest in? I'm curious because everyone hears the confidence, here's the things that you're
Mhm.
doing well. So what do you feel like you need to improve on?
Yeah, so I still am pretty new to trading, only 1 year. You know what I mean? What feel like I can improve on is sometimes I do over leverage. That has been a habit that I've sometimes done. I have been working a lot on that. Maybe I would say potentially under trading. I'm not sure on what degree, but I do take less trades. But the reason why I'm taking less trades is because I used to take too many trades. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to
Right.
find the middle ground of too many, too little trades and trying to find, that middle ground of that. And but yeah, I really like the just keeping it basic. You know what I mean? Just keeping it one pair, gold. because I feel like if I start to add multiple pairs, I will overcomplicate it and maybe start taking setups that I shouldn't take.
100%. Do you
Yeah.
feel like you need to learn, like, how much does the macro of gold play into your trading fundamentals? Are you looking at how gold might be impacted by inflation? Do you look at any of those numbers to dictate the bias, or not really? You're just reading price.
So majority wise, I do just read price action, but with the upcoming elections, for example, when Trump got elected, I sold a lot of gold and made a decent amount of money from that. Just subtle things like that. For example, next year, I'm expecting gold to come down by a good amount because we have Trump in office, which is most likely going to increase the US, capital, which is going to make gold decrease. So that's why I was like, I do look at stuff like that, but I majority look at price action.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Good information. On a indicator basis, any indicators that you're using?
No, I just use my eyes. I use support resistance lines, and you know what I mean. And that's pretty much it. I don't really use too many complicated indicators or anything like that.
Okay. When you're thinking now about like the traders you see in Nick's group, do you see any issues that are very common with traders that are holding them back? Like when you think about all the people that were ahead of you in the competition and how they ended up either blowing their account or ruining it, which just kept bumping you up the top.
Yeah.
What do you think that most traders are doing wrong?
I mean, a lot of traders get very, very greedy, even myself included. You know what I mean? Very greedy,
Of course.
very they think also trading is a get rich idea scheme or whatever, get rich scheme, which is not. You
Right.
do not get rich quick from trading. It takes a lot of learning, a lot of time, and a lot of patience. So do not expect coming into trading and starting making thousands of dollars the first months. You know what I mean? You gotta take your time. You're gonna lose, you know what I mean? You're gonna lose way more money than you're gonna make the first year. So just be
Absolutely.
prepared for that.
And if you can
And
go your first year break even, that would be a huge win. But most people, yeah,
yeah,
are going to lose more money in their first year. You're an
exactly.
exception, bro.
Yeah, man. So I mean, like people lose a lot of money. I lost money as well, but I'm starting to now make money, which is, the beauty of going through that downhill after you come down. It's like a bow and arrow, right? You get pulled back, you're losing all this money, and then boom, you get shot forward, and now you're gonna make more profits than you ever could imagine. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
100%. So, any other thoughts on like not just where you are looking to improve, but where you would say for other traders that are maybe trying to pass their first challenge, like any tips for those guys that are struggling? Because I think some people in the audience that would be listening to this are trying to get funded or are trying to get their first payout. I think that would be like the majority of people. Do you have any
Yeah.
advice for those guys?
Yeah. So what I really noticed was a huge impact from like blowing an account to passing an account
Mhm.
was not looking at the money, but looking at the price, like analysis, like technical analysis, price action. Because I remember I would trade a 100K account and I would see $1,000 in profit and I would just close. I'm like, that's a lot of money. So I'm closing. But then I end up losing way more because I have my stop loss here and I would refuse to close in $1,000 profit or $2,000 profit. So I just let it hit my stop loss, hoping it wouldn't hit, right? So always close where it makes sense. Do not close where it makes sense for your wallet, but makes where it makes sense on the charts. You know what I mean? So if you see a support and the price is tapping at support, close partials, go break even, do something there. You know what I mean? Because price could bounce off of it and stop you out. So maybe you're up, $500 and you want $1,000, but it doesn't make sense to close at 1,000. Close at those 500, secure your profits. Don't get greedy and don't look at the price. Just look at the charts. Don't care about how much money's in, anything like that. Just focus on, the charts, and the charts will tell you when to close.
That's really good advice. It's really good advice. I think often people think indicators are going to give them like the secret answer of like when to get in and when to get out. But at the end of the day, it's just price action. I think that's why
Yeah.
Nick and you guys are successful. Nick doesn't get too bothered with indicators. He's reading price action and looking for price patterns. And also,
Mhm.
I think you guys do a good job of balancing the higher time frame and lower time frame analysis, even to that point, not getting too distracted with fundamentals or with the news. That's something that I think a lot of people get guilty of too, right? Is like they get distracted from a bias on Twitter that they saw Raja Banks tweeting about something on about gold's bias, and then they're trading that way,
Yeah.
even though it might not make sense. So
Yeah.
what do you think of Raja?
Also,
Nick's a big
yeah.
fan of Raja. Raja is like Nick's guy, right? So Nick learned from
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, Roger Banks. Yeah. I mean, I've heard about him, haven't watched too much of him, like, because I think when I started trading, he kind of like stopped really doing his live streams. I have seen some of his live streams. I like his style. He's very honest, very, straightforward with his stuff. But I
Mm,
don't watch Roger too much. Stick to Nick, stick to my own trading style because learning from Nick, you know what I mean? I have tried strategy hopping, didn't like it, went right back, you know what I mean? I tried not really strategy hopping, but I just tried following other streamers and seeing what they did, but never really liked their style, so went back to Nick's style. And then also like for the indicator wise, you know what I mean?
mm,
Like people really just like let's say Raja says he's gonna take a buy here, even though it's not your plan to take a buy, you take a buy because somebody else said it. If you end up losing that money, you're gonna feel so stupid for taking a trade because somebody else said it. You always have to follow
100%.
your own plan. You shouldn't follow anybody else and follow them to a T. You should have your own plan.
Absolutely. Yeah, because
Yeah,
then it also gives you a way to cop out and be like, well, I only lost
exactly.
that trade because Nick said or Austin said to take that trade. It gives you a way to blame somebody else instead of take
Yeah,
accountability and learn from it. You know what I mean?
yeah. Because you don't know why you even entered the trade in the first place. You just
Right.
copying somebody
Just
else. So
following it.
that's
Yeah, it doesn't
yeah,
teach you anything.
exactly. You should never do that.
And you said the over leveraging and when you over leverage, are you doubling down into a trade or are you just going in with big position size first try heavy?
Big position, first try heavy. So like
Is
I
that because
just
you're
go
confident in the setup and you're just like, I know this should work?
yeah, usually I am confident, but then once you start seeing it going drawdown, you get a little bit scared, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, of course.
yeah, but for me, I usually only take one position and the leverage I have there is the leverage I'll have. I won't add more to the position. That's not my style, but I'll either just, go full risk or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think that over leveraging, trading too heavy. I literally just said this on a coaching call before we were recording this.
Hmm.
That's I think the issues that are screwing a lot of people up. Even this time of year, bro. In December, people start swinging really hard, trying to make money on a month where, like, depending on what market you're trading, this month is not a great month for certain assets. You know,
100%,
so
100%.
and people are blowing themselves out of the water. And I
Yeah.
think like probably what's going to be best for you because you have a good understanding of technicals and a good understanding of how to trade now, what's going to be best is just trading through year after year after year for you, getting market experience through different elections, different presidents, different market cycles, bear market eventually, corrections. You're going to get so much experience that you're going to be a freaking dude, like a rock star in like 5 years once you go through it. It's really hard to teach that. That's what people I
Yeah.
wish would have. I've been trading since 2017, and I always heard people say things like, market cycles matter. You got to know when to hit it and when to back out. But you don't really understand that, I think, until you go through it year after year. You start to
Yeah.
see what news events are important now versus at a different time. Like when I started trading, CPI never mattered because CPI, the inflation, just stayed flat. It was very low. But when
Hmm.
COVID hit and everything happened in 2020, CPI became extremely important. And that's what we've been talking about now for 4 years. So things change, and now as you go through those cycles, bro, you're going to kill it. And now it's smart too to be building a personal capital because, yeah, the prop firms are great, but at the end of the day, you don't have full control over that money. You want to be doing it your own way too. So
Yeah.
is that like your goal 2025 is run up some payouts, take those payouts, fund the personal capital, and get this thing really scalable on that side?
Yeah, definitely, definitely, man. Like getting a decent payout, starting to trade personal, growing the personal capital and living off of that is the dream. You know what I mean? Like that's the goal. And I really like what you said with the, experiencing the market because I have learned so much from just watching the charts and watching what goes on in the real world, you know what I mean? And this
Yeah.
different seasons. And for example, this December, like last December, I took a lot of trades. This December, I haven't even taken a single trade.
Right.
Like I haven't taken any trades because the markets for me on gold at least is so choppy that I would rather just stay out, preserve my capital, and wait for next year to get some more momentum and some better price action.
Dude, that's some maturity right there. Because like I said,
Yeah.
most people can't control themselves and they overtrade themselves to bits. But you've also tasted success. I think what's difficult sometimes as a new trader is you haven't had success yet, so you don't know what it feels like. But then as you
Hmm.
see the patience be rewarded, it gets easier to be patient more.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
like one thing Nick says a lot is the fruit you plant or the fruit you harvest. Let's say you overtrade, you over leverage, the fruit you're gonna get from that is usually very rotten, which means like you're blowing accounts from doing that stuff. So why are you going to continue doing that when every time you do that, you blow an account? And that's why I started changing. Like I looked at over leveraging, over trading. Every time I did that, I would blow an account, FOMOing in on trades. I blew an account. But once I started being patient, once I started taking one trade, two trades a day, like very minimal trades, I started passing accounts. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. You see the patience being rewarded, and it's, you know what I mean, something you didn't know because everybody thinks the more you trade, the more money you're gonna make, but that's just not the case. You gotta really stay passive and wait for your best setup because the markets are trying to tempt you in to take your money. They're not there to just give you money for free. You got to be patient. You got to be disciplined.
Mm, that's a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
That's so true, bro. Yeah, I think trading can be extremely rewarding as you're tasting. And it's sick. Like I was young when I started trading. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 20. Yeah.
Yeah, so dude, that's crazy. And like because when I started trading at like 19, I sucked for at least 2.5 years, bro. Like at least. And then like the year 2 to 4 was still a struggle. So for you guys to be like young and doing so well and understanding you have so much information at your disposal to get so smart, like you should have huge fucking goals, bro. Your expectations for yourself should be massive. Really, they
Yeah.
should,
I
because
know.
you've already tasted it. And now, like, you know what the other side of the coin feels like. And a lot of people don't
Mhm.
get there. Like, a lot of people struggle to pass challenges, you know? So you not only have done that, you won the competition. It's great momentum to roll into the new year with, bro. It really is.
Yeah, it is. It is, man. Yeah, I mean, you got to dream big. You got to visualize. I feel that's very important,
And
visualizing.
Nick's good at that, right? Like, Nick's good at
Yeah,
getting everybody
very good.
fired up on that. Yeah.
hmm Like you got to speak your, you got to speak your dreams into reality and take action. You can't just, daydream about them. You have to do stuff and you have to really believe in yourself. You can't doubt yourself. I've noticed a lot of people, they always say, I will never be able to do this. I don't want to do this, stuff like that. And it's just sad because they don't know that speaking positively has a huge impact and also speaking negatively will have a huge impact. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And also, being uncomfortable. I feel like being uncomfortable is one of the biggest things that makes you grow. You have to learn to be uncomfortable because when you're uncomfortable, you go out of your comfort zone, you start to develop new skills, new habits, new ideas that you never knew you could get. A lot of people are comfortable staying to a 9 to 5, but they could potentially go out of that comfort zone and become business owners, millionaires, but they never experience that because they want to stay comfortable.
That's so true. So what can it, maybe this is a good finishing question. What can a trader do, in your opinion, to stay uncomfortable? Because that's good advice for people to like try to be entrepreneurial and try new skills.
Mhm.
And that would be good advice for someone that is not trading to get them into trading. But do you have any examples of how like we as traders you think could get more uncomfortable? Would it be trying new strategies, or is that strategy hopping? Like, what does your brain think on that?
Okay, so I think first and foremost, it's a good thing because that's what I did as well. Try new strategies in the beginning, see
Yep.
what fits your style because everybody has a different style. Some people like to take a lot of trades, some people like to take long trades, swing trading. You know what I mean? It's all up to you. How do you feel? If you want to be in the markets a lot, if you want to start the markets, you know, that. So I would recommend not strategy hopping, but going through different strategies, seeing which one fits you, and then sticking to that, staying disciplined to that. And it's gonna be very hard at first. You're gonna get losses. You're gonna, lose money, which is gonna be uncomfortable for you. But once you get over that, that's where you're gonna start being comfortable in that uncomfortable area.
That's a really good example. I think maybe sometimes people are too rigid to jump to new strategies because they don't want to be like considered strategy hopping. But I agree
Mhm.
with you, especially when you're new. Like the best thing you can do is just try a bunch of things and see what you like and see what you don't like. Just like
Yeah,
finding a career, same
yeah,
advice would be like
exactly.
finding a career, finding your passions. Try a bunch of things to see what you love and see what you hate. Same thing with trading strategy because you got to align with the strategy. Like, even when I ask you to describe it, how you can quickly go into the terminology and start rattling it off, like that shows people, I think, or at least I hope it shows me that you understand it more than just on the surface level on the chart. Like, it's a deep
Yeah,
understanding. I think that's what you want, everybody, is like a very deep understanding of your edge, your way of seeing the market. That's where you can lean into and build some confidence. So, Edward, this has been great, bro. You shared a lot of value in this. I always take notes as we're talking. I got a bunch of good
yeah.
stuff. So, Edward, if anybody wants to connect with you, how can they find you? Are you on social media?
Yeah, I mean, I got an Instagram. It's just my name, Edward Whaley. I'm about to start maybe doing some live streams next year, live trading. haven't really gone to that, but I'm thinking about starting, live trading, building my own brand, stuff like that.
Nice.
So yeah,
Nice. Nice. Well, if you ever want to collab, I would love to have you on our streams and see how you trade gold. Maybe you could show our guys
yeah,
some
man.
stuff because we have ASFX TV where we're streaming every day too. London session, not as much, but New York session, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, that would be awesome, bro. And if we get that up in 2025, I would love to have you back on the podcast to help promote that and get people over to
yeah.
the streams. So listen, congrats again on winning, bro. Huge win on the
Thank you.
top one competition. I know they're going to do another one, I think, in the new year. So hopefully you'll
Yeah,
enter that one and go for the belt. I have the
definitely.
belt somewhere over. It's
Yeah,
somewhere. I just
I have it
redid.
too.
You got
Let me
it. You
see if
got
I
the
can
belt.
find it. Let me see if I can find that belt.
Yeah, see if you could find it.
Don't know where my parents put it.
They framed it. They
Oh.
put it over the fireplace.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they put it, but
It's all right.
yeah, they did.
Everybody saw it. They saw it on the website, so they know what it looks
Yeah,
like.
they
Yeah.
sent it
No.
really
So
fast too.
yeah, of
Like
course,
so
of
quick.
course, of course. So yeah, shout out to Top One for that. I love that,
Yeah.
Edward. Again, man, thank you for being on the podcast. Thank you for participating in the competition. I know Top One really appreciates that. But I think we'll put a pin in it for now. Listeners, make sure you guys are subscribed. I'll put Edward's social media links down below so you guys can connect with him. As always, thank you to Top One for making this happen, and we'll see you guys all in the next episode.